Well, hello, Yuri. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. So I discovered you by your Kardashian parodies that you do. I found them on YouTube. I know you do them, elsewhere as well, like TikTok and stuff. But they're so funny and so spot on. I think it was just, probably one of your videos that went viral or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. And I literally binged all of your Kardashian ones. You're so funny. You're just like, your voice sounded just like, especially Kim and Courtney, like so funny. So excited to have you on the show and
Thank
really want
you.
to dive into, you know, being a content creator, but then also kind of like, it looked like you started off doing makeup. You're still kind
Mhm.
of doing makeup, but now you have this whole other aspect that you're, parodying the Kardashians and talking about the Kardashians and all that on your channel. So definitely want to dive into that. And then also the fact that so much of your content are shorts and really, it's a little bit of a different ballgame with shorts on YouTube versus long form videos. So I want to get into that. But first, why don't you share with our viewers and listeners a little bit about you, what inspired you to get onto YouTube and when that was, and then also how you kind of transitioned into this kind of realm of doing the Kardashian type content you're doing now.
Okay, so I started YouTube back in 2016, and that was when the beauty community was huge. It was like, you had your big content creators, you had your Jeffree Star, Jaclyn Hill, Nikki Tutorials, all of them. And I was so inspired to learn makeup from then on. I was always a girly girl, so I think that's kind of like where it came from. And I was like, I'm just gonna, do makeup and I want to be consistent with it. Of course, with YouTube, you can tend to fall off the wagon because it's like when you're your own person, you're filming it, you're editing it, you're publishing it, you're creating your thumbnail. So it's the entire creative process along with all the technicality, along with the filming. So it's really hard to get started, and I really wanted to be more consistent with it. And of course, if you're not consistent, you don't get growth. So that was also kind of discouraging. But really, I think what drew me into the shorts was it was something new. So I started doing YouTube shorts exactly, I know, I would say like a year ago. Last June is when I started doing the YouTube shorts, and that's when I grew a massive following. And that really made me realize that, like, okay, these, like, my audience just wants, targeted things, straight to the point. Like, we don't want a 20-minute video. And I really think that TikTok kind of helped with that, because TikTok showed people, like, okay, it's a 1-minute video, get what you want to say out there, capture the viewer's attention within the first 5 seconds, and then finish it off in a minute, and the audience is pretty much done with your content. So it's really, really fast to turnaround time, right? So shorts kind of mimic that, and because it did, I think it was a huge success. It was just repurposing my content from TikTok to shorts, so it wasn't that much harder than when I was making a YouTube video. So, and that's probably where I gained the most success from.
Yeah, from your short. So when
Yeah.
you started, it was primarily beauty, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so then it sounds like about a year ago you started doing this short content. Were you doing this whole Kardashian impersonation thing on TikTok first, like kind of completely separate, or did you kind of do them both at the same time? Okay, well, I'm gonna throw some of these on my YouTube channel just to see how they do.
Exactly that. So back in March of 2021 is when I put out my first Kardashian TikTok. And it wasn't until June. So I had 3 months of like content. So it wasn't until June that I got into shorts, started repurposing the TikToks to the shorts, and then it hit that same exact way. So I was doing it about 3 months prior on TikTok. I saw the audience, I saw that people loved it, and I was like, I just have to put it on another platform. And that's also when YouTube Shorts was kind of still in the beta process, and they're pushing your content. Like, anybody that's making shorts, they're pushing it because it's not as saturated. There's not a lot of content out there. So they're going to push whatever any short is. And I think I just got on the wave like right at the perfect moment, and it just took off.
Yeah. And so now what does your channel look like? Because you had mainly beauty and then you said, okay, I'm going to put these on YouTube, see how they do. That is really what sounded like catapulted your channel. How many subscribers were you at, a year ago before you uploaded your shorts?
I want to say I was at 1,000 subscribers.
Oh,
It's
like,
insane. Yeah.
oh, and you're at like 200 or almost 300,000. How many are you at now?
241,000
Yeah. Okay.
as of now. It
Okay.
catapulted it. It was insane to me. Like, and just the amount of growth I get, even on a daily basis. Like, I wasn't seeing these numbers when I was doing beauty. And unfortunately, I do think that I got into the beauty industry, into the beauty content creating really late because everyone kind of seemed like they were already established beauty influencers, and it's hard to get in there, when there's so many already, and it was a saturated industry. And it sounds so cliche, but these Kardashian parodies was just so second nature to me. I love the Kardashians. I've followed them my whole life. I idolize Kim, and I I don't care what anyone says, but it was like something that I wanted to do, and it was funny, and it just hit. And it, like I said, it sounds so cliche, but when you stick to like the things that and things that come naturally, like when you're your most authentic self is when you'll see success. Because it wasn't until then that the channel just blew up.
So did you like, were you doing this impersonations just like at home, like with like friends and family, or what inspired you to create, that first piece of content where you were just, imitate? For people that aren't familiar with Yuri's content, you do, and if you're a Kardashian fan, you have to check it out. You're so spot on with the voices. Could you do a voice? Could you do like a Kim or Courtney?
I can do a Courtney. So
Okay.
Kim, there's people that are dying. It's just not the vibe.
And I love how your impersonations that you do about like, it's about the kids.
Yeah, all the kids. Like, I just want to be with my kids. Like,
it's so good. It's so fun. Just so, okay. So I wanted you to do that just so people that aren't familiar with you just have an idea of like, she does these just hilarious parodies of Kim and Courtney, especially. And every now and then you throw in Chris and Kendall and Kylie and the other one, Chloe. There's a lot of them you throw every now, but I feel like the Kim and Courtney interaction is just the best. But so what inspired that first one? Like, did you just say, oh, I'm gonna do it, or was it something like, oh, I've been doing this all the time with like at home?
Yeah. So I think I've always been told that I sound like a Valley girl, and I never knew what that meant. Like, they would say, "Are you from California?" And it was just like my voice, I guess, the way that I spoke. And it was really like a little bit before, I want to say like September. So I started in March of 2021. So September of 2020, I was at this birthday party, and someone was like, "You kind of sound like Kim. Try to sound like Kim." So I did, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you sound like Kim." And I was like, I don't know, probably because I love Kim so much. I was like, I don't know that I sound like her. And I just like carried that with me. And the first video was really inspired by that current season. I think I want to say it was either season 19 or 20 of the Kardashians. It had to be season 19 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It just looked like so out of touch. 2020 is like so different, right? We have the pandemic, and it's like, for some reason, it was just kind of boring to me. And I was like, is this what we've been watching? Like, where's the energy? Like, where's all this? So I was like, I'm just going to mock them because it's so funny. Like, the way that the Kardashians have evolved into this generation, I feel like people are so outspoken, and the Kardashians are kind of just like not, so just their demeanor and their mannerisms is very minimalistic, and I love that. But it's like it's so different seen in this generation, the way this generation receives the Kardashians. So I was like, this is so funny. And that's really what inspired it.
Wow. And what was your first Kardashian short that you did?
So it was Kim and Courtney, and it was Courtney talking about the kids. And it was like a first world problem about Courtney doesn't know if she should send the kids to Palm Springs for the summer, or if she should keep them longer. Kim is obviously not listening. She's on her phone. She's doing her own work. And it was just the most basic conversation. But the way that they portray it on the shows, it's like such a big deal, like really dramatic. And it was so funny, and it blew up. And then from then on, it just kind of like a snowball effect.
Yeah. So then, okay. So then at what point was it that first video literally on YouTube that blew up? Or like at what point did you say like, oh wow, like this is kind of where my YouTube is headed?
So it was on TikTok initially, and it blew up on TikTok, and then I did it for about 3 months on TikTok. So on TikTok, there's this feature where you can tag your YouTube account, and so I did, and I was getting some followers from there. You know, like these loyal fans that follow you on all the platforms, and I was getting some traffic from there, and then I would just get notifications about YouTube Shorts on my email, like, oh, YouTube Shorts, we're pushing YouTube Shorts, like, get your content out there. It was basically the same frame as TikTok, the same concept. So I was like, let me just try it here. And yes, to answer the question, yes, it was probably from the very first YouTube short of the Kardashians, the same one that blew up on TikTok, also blew up on YouTube Shorts. And I think currently it probably has 4.5 million views.
Wow. Wow, that's cool. And so then after that, you ran with it apparently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun since then. It's been a little bit over a year since I've been doing it, about a year and a half, and I love it. I love the Kardashians. It comes so second nature to me, and now that I'm good at it, it's just so easy now. And I love to do it. And now my content is really about like positivity. I don't like to harp on negativity. I know TikTok can be an extremely toxic platform. So I just try to stay positive. I want, being that my content is like comedy, it makes people laugh. I get so many DMs and like messages telling me like, oh my gosh, like your content made me laugh. It made my day. Like I was having a horrible day. And to hear that is just like, it makes you just want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I love that. And so you don't have any background in acting or performing or any like improv or anything like that?
No, I don't. I actually think I would do very bad as an actor because it's hard. Like my skits to try to memorize things, it's so hard for me. So I don't think I could do good with like a script.
Yeah.
I have to just like go in without one.
So when you're filming it, because most of the time you're filming like two characters, right? They're both yourself, obviously. So do you film one at a time? Like obviously you're going to film the Courtney one, and then you film the Kim one, and then put them together. And then like with yourself, like if you said, if you don't have a script, are you just kind of like making it up yourself, and then you kind of make up the responses? Like how's that process for you, the creative process with actually putting these together?
So the creative process is fun, but I find skits are a lot. I mean, yeah, I find like prepping and writing down a skit is a lot. It'll make the filming process go by a lot faster. But sometimes it's also not good to have a script because I'm so focused on securing a script that I take the funny out. And there have been times where I do an entire skit, film it, edit it, and I'm like, this is not funny. Like, I'm way too serious. Let me try again. And I go in there without a script, and it's just so funny. I just think of things in my head, and I'm like, this is what they would say. So the creative process is kind of hit or miss with skits. But I mean, it's fun overall. I learn a lot about, editing, and really about myself too, and how I can just think fast on my feet.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot of improv then. You're just kind of like spontaneously.
Just
yeah. Okay. That's hard to do though when you're playing two characters though.
Yeah.
In your mind, are you thinking about what the other person's saying, and then you got to remember and film it?
Yeah. So I kind of got to think about, so if I change a part, like if I change a line from what Courtney's going to say, then I have to make it make sense with Kim. So sometimes the creative, like filming, will take a little longer, but it pays out in the end because it comes out really funny.
Are you filming the whole thing on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have I think I have an iPhone 11. I'm not up to date with my with my phone.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? You're like, I have an old iPhone, but it's still doing it. It's doing the trick. So
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I film a lot on my iPhone, and it helps because of the portrait mode. You know, a lot of things are portrait mode with Instagram's Reels as well. So it just helps.
Yeah. So how then do you monetize your content? So because with YouTube, I know TikTok has its own shorts fund, but I know a lot of people haven't been super impressed with what they're paying out. And I know with YouTube, the YouTube Shorts fund really isn't much at all either. So it's definitely a different animal when you're doing a lot of short form content versus a lot of long form content. So are you monetizing the channel at this point? Or is at this point you're like, I'm just trying to kind of grow and then see what happens?
So I am monetizing the channel, and I think a lot of people don't find success in YouTube Shorts because it's only a minute long. So they're really not going to have ads. So they really aren't really getting money from ads.
Yeah.
So, however, I think the exposure is amazing. The exposure will pay out if you get brand deals, if you get sponsored, and that's really where the money comes in. So, the channel is monetized, and I am able to monetize like my Instagram, my TikTok, and my YouTube Shorts. Well, the YouTube channel, and get paid for the same video on each platform, which is fun. However, I think now I'm more focused on like growth. So I really don't focus on the numbers a lot.
You mean growth as in like growing the channel?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, growing the channel, like for more subscribers, because it's more exposure, and brand deals like that. They like to see the numbers, and they will sponsor you for a TikTok video along with a YouTube video along with an Instagram, so then you have your brand deal there.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, so is it primarily way that you monetize at this point are brand opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the higher paying stream of income.
And are they doing that like what you said? Is it like, are you finding, I'm curious, like what you're finding, are you finding that the brands sometimes, we just want TikTok, or we want you on all your platforms, or we only want YouTube? Like what are the brands wanting from you? Since it sounds like, you're on every platform, you're kind of doing similar content on all of it.
Yeah. So I'm finding that TikTok is probably the most requested one. However, my TikTok fee is quite a bit. So sometimes brand deals, if we can't come to an agreement, it's negotiable, so, but if we cannot come to an agreement, then they will say, okay, well, we'll do a dedicated video or a YouTube integrated mention. I also have that's a little bit cheaper than a dedicated video. And I also do like kind of like a bundle. So like if they want an Instagram reel and a YouTube short, then it'll be a little cheaper because it's the same content, just on different platforms. Yeah. So that's what I find what brands like to do.
And is your TikTok following, what's your TikTok following? Is it a lot higher than your YouTube?
Yeah, so my current TikTok following is 2.2 million.
Oh, wow. It's a lot more. Yeah. And are you finding that with TikTok, you mentioned this, and actually the same thing with shorts, but are you finding with TikTok that you're still seeing the kind of growth you were seeing like a year ago? Or has it slowed down a little?
It's definitely slowed down. As a content creator, I think that the platform now has a lot of content to use. So they're not in need to push anybody's content. If it's funny, it'll blow up. And I also think that TikTok can sometimes take your views. They kind of control how your video does, in my personal opinion. So it's important not to get discouraged with that. And I think that also has affected my growth because I'm definitely producing way more content than I was a year ago, and it is growing less. granted, it's hard to see that much growth when you have 2 million followers. So if it goes from 2.2 to 2.3, doesn't look like a lot, but that's an extra 100,000 followers. So it's a
That's
little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So when you say, going back to like, oh, you feel like TikTok kind of like takes some of your views, what do you mean by that?
So I think that TikTok has a way of controlling your views and your account. So I think that if you're not as active, it's somewhat, and I don't want people to like feed way too into it, because it's just sometimes sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. So I do think that the way that they control, it's kind of like controlled behavior. You know, they're like, oh, if you go on live, your content will be pushed out more.
Yeah.
If, you know, if you're responding more, if you get more likes, if you get more shares, like, then your content will be pushed out more. But there have been times where I push out a video and I will get like 10 views in an hour. And I'm like, how when I have 2.2 million followers, does that happen? And I know people that aren't content creators sometimes resent that. They're like, oh, all you care about is the views and things like that. But I want to see the growth, you know, like this is
your job.
Yeah, as a full-time content creator, this is my work. So, and there's really no rhyme or reason as to why TikTok won't view my page and or push my content out. And my boyfriend, I live with my boyfriend, sometimes he will log into my TikTok and you can't see my video. After like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's like not there, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll say like, oh, it's under review, it's like flagged, but I really don't post anything negative or anything that could potentially be flagged. So I don't know.
Yeah. How often are you uploading onto TikTok and YouTube?
So for TikTok, I try to post at least twice a week or even 3 times a week. This week specifically, I've just had a lot of inspiration. I've been posting every single day. And for YouTube, I like to post shorts every other day. And I like to make a YouTube video once a week.
Okay. How come you do it every other day on YouTube, whereas it seems like you do more on TikTok?
Yeah. So I think that spacing it out that way just gives me time to always have content. So I'll like backlog some things. So with TikTok's so fast paced, where YouTube is not quite there yet with their YouTube shorts, in my opinion. So it's good to have kind of like a backlog, and for every 2 or 3 videos I'm posting on TikTok, I'm posting on YouTube. I will eventually post it on YouTube. It just gives me that like freedom of like more of a schedule, I would say.
Yeah.
And it also gives me good predictability. Like, okay, it did really good on TikTok, and it's usually the same trend. Like videos that do really good on TikTok also do really good on YouTube.
Yeah. What do you find right now, you know, in 2022, what do you find is performing really well on TikTok and then also on YouTube as far as your short content?
As far as my short content, all my Kardashian videos. Sometimes I try to do parodies of like The Bachelorette or parodies of other reality TV shows that I've done or other celebrities. Like I've tried Paris Hilton, and it just doesn't do the same. And I want to step out of the realm. So I still love beauty. I still buy tons of makeup. Like I will still get PR and brand deals from makeup companies, but that's really more on the back end because people really don't want to see that. And I can create the content, it just won't hit, you know. And sometimes when you get kind of like controlled behavior, when you see the success, you're going to continue to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So just the people love Kardashians.
I know. I don't know. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. So then where do you see the future of your content going? I mean, are you going to just kind of keep going with this Kardashian content? Like, it sounds like you've been trying to branch away from that, but it's just not working as well, or like it's not hitting it. It's hard to go from getting millions of views and then you're like,
yeah, it is. And it's keeping up with this like personality. So I try to go on live. I go on TikTok. I go on live every single day. And all they want to see is Kardashian stuff. They're like, oh, do the Kim boys, you know. So it's they very much see me as a comedian. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people have asked me like, oh, you should do stand up. Stand up like scares me. I don't think
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
up for that. And I don't know, for some reason I don't see myself as funny enough to be a
Mm-hmm.
comedian. And to answer your question, I was actually asked this, I want to say a couple weeks ago, like, what's the end goal? Like, where do you see your content going? And I really don't know. And I never really asked myself that question.
Yeah. You're
I
riding
was
the
so
wave.
focused on just like pushing out content and pushing out content.
Mm-hmm.
I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah. And honestly, like in with YouTube, social media, it's like, yeah, some people have visions, like I want to go here, but a lot of people go down paths that they never would have even imagined, right? Or it's like I never would have thought I'd be down this path. So it's just kind of ride the wave and then see what happens. You know, it's
Yeah.
what's working is working now. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'll get there. It just wasn't my focus. And now I am paying attention to to things like, where do I want this to go?
yeah.
Where is the end? Like, where do I see like, okay, I've reached success?
Yeah. And how do you continue to come up with ideas? Are you just watching the show a lot and like an idea comes to you?
Yes, I'm so inspired by everything they do. Everything they do,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is so funny. I think I can recreate this, and I can put this kind of spin on it. I like to. I feel like I think of my comedy kind of like a caricature. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
focus on the really funny parts, or like these really awkward moments, and they just like hyper focus on it and make it like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really helps like with comedy and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, your content is funny because it really highlights how mundane their conversations can be. And it is.
Yes.
It's like it's so funny because they're just yeah.
But these are, you know, these are their lives. So it's like these
Mm-hmm.
are actual problems that they have, and
Mm-hmm.
it must be nice, you know, like
Yeah.
I would love to have those problems.
Yeah. I think we all would.
Yeah, you know, and it's just I love them. So yeah, I do get inspired very easily by, like you said, the very like mundane conversations, and the
Mm-hmm.
way that their show is set up to like dramatize it all, you
Mm-hmm.
know, for the views and for content, when in reality it's just not relatable, you know?
Yeah. 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 So I'm curious, have the Kardashians ever reached out to you or anybody from their team or like acknowledged your content and said anything about it?
Yes. So Khloe Kardashian has actually commented on, I want to say, three of my Instagram reels.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
saying like, this is so funny, and like just kind of mocking what I've done. She has such an amazing, I think they all have an amazing sense of humor. I think they can all take the jokes very lightly. And also because I do love them and I'm very open about that. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people sometimes get confused. They're like, wait, I'm confused. Like, do you like the Kardashians? Do you not like them? And then a lot of times I'll say, no, I love them. And people would just unfollow me, or they'll call me a sellout. But it never, like, you can go through my entire like
Yeah.
social
You've
media
always loved
history.
them.
Yeah, I've always loved
You're
them.
doing it because you love them. And I think
Yeah.
it's, I think really the only way it would work is if you genuinely like them, because you're kind of
Yeah.
bringing a humanity to them and who they are. And like, I think if I just being a casual viewer of your content, before meeting you and talking to you, I assumed you were a fan because I don't think it's like, I think it's difficult to do that again and again and to know so much about them and to know their mannerisms if you're not genuinely interested in them.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I never looked at it in that perspective, but it's good to know that that I do give that off, you know, because sometimes I feel like I don't. And I try not to focus on the really bad things, you know, the actual issues that they go through.
Yeah.
If I don't think it's funny, I'm not going to shed light to it.
Hmm.
So I also received a huge PR package from Skims, I want to say last year, It was a
Wow.
lot. I think it was like $846 worth of Skims. It was like
Wow.
maternity Skims. It was also like postpartum pieces, and just regular pieces for when I'm just like not pregnant anymore. And I think it was 2 days ago that I received the Chris and Kylie collection, the
Oh,
entire
wow.
collection. Yeah, and the PR package had like baccarat martini glasses. Like
Oh my
it was,
gosh.
yeah, it was amazing. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. So like lately, I've been having a lot of content to create.
Yeah, because
So
that's
yeah,
fun. You
they
could
have
take that
some.
and create content around just some of their stuff.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
so Kardashians Hulu, they reached out to me and they wanted me to go to this press event in LA for the premiere of the Kardashians. Unfortunately, it was in the West Coast and I live in the East Coast. It was on a
Mm.
Wednesday, so I wasn't able to make it. But the Kardashians Hulu, they sent me like some PR when they premiered the Kardashians for season one. So I know they know of me. And when I received that, I made like a little Instagram reel and pretending I was Courtney. And Kourtney Kardashian reposted it. And Kim
On her
Kardashian
Insta,
reposted it.
on
Yeah,
their
on their Instagram.
Instagrams, on their
Yes.
stories.
Yeah. On their
Did you?
stories.
Oh, you must have gotten a lot of
I
followers
did.
from that.
Yes, I did. I think right now it has like 9 million views. I don't remember.
Wow.
Obviously it's kind of died down now, but yeah, both of them posted it and I was like, okay, so they know me, especially Courtney. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. They all
Oh
have a
my
sense of
gosh.
humor about it.
Yeah, how cool. How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Right now I have 178,000.
Wow. Yeah, because that's the thing with like YouTube and even TikTok, it's hard. It's like you can't really share it, this as easily as you can, like with Instagram. So it's smart that you're doing stuff and tagging them on Instagram because
Yeah, I do tag them, and
yeah.
sometimes people say like, oh, she's ruthless, she's like a savage because she tags them
Oh my
in the
God. I
parodies,
mean,
but I'm
you're
like,
smart. Like, why wouldn't
yeah.
you?
Yeah, I'm like, they love me. Like, oh, I think they
Yeah.
love me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would imagine I don't think you should do anything mean at all. And I think it's just a parody. Like I wouldn't imagine them. I would imagine them actually really liking it and having a laugh at it.
Yeah,
So
same.
yeah, that's the sense I got. So okay, we're nearing the last part of the interview. And at this part, I ask you the same questions that I ask everyone that has come on to the show. And it's kind of like a
Okay.
rapid fire kind of thing. All right. All
Okay.
right. First question is, what is your number one struggle with YouTube?
Number one struggle with YouTube. I would say getting the audience engagement, the views like longer than about 5 minutes on a long video. The retention of a longer video is tough. I want to say,
Yeah. And you're not doing, well, you're doing like Kardashian kind of like reviews of their shows, right? As like long form videos. So it is kind of similar content.
yeah, it is somewhat similar content, and those videos are actually doing pretty good. But I also struggle with, I don't know if it's per se YouTube, but I would say it's just the audience. If I did a trip to San Diego, like a vlog style, did not do good. Like, so it's just, I cannot get out of the Kardashian realm, or it just doesn't do well.
You needed to take a trip to like Calabasas or wherever, they hang
Yeah,
out.
or Nobu or
No, but
something.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what people are gonna want to watch. You
Exactly.
came to my neck of the woods. I live in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's really nice there. We
Yeah,
we
I
love
love it.
it.
I love it.
Mhm.
Okay, if you were to start over right now with your content, what, if anything, would you do differently?
Oh, that's tough. I would probably do I would probably try to do vlog styles, more like baby content,
Mm,
because I think that would be a lot more sustainable. So
people
that's
love
probably
the
what I would
baby
try to do
content.
differently.
Yeah, people love the pregnancy and baby and new baby.
Yeah,
Those
all of that.
those
I
do
wish I would
well.
have been better at that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have another baby.
Yeah, content baby.
um, what is your favorite video you've created?
My favorite video I created. I would say my first video, my first Kardashian video. I think that's when I realized like, okay, this is it. This is what's gonna, you know, set me off.
The one that started it all.
Yes. I love
Um,
that video. I mean, it's just so sentimental, it means so much, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah. Cause it's a huge, it's not just like I'm gonna throw up a beauty video. It's like a big like pivot. Not pivot, but it's a big decision. It's like I'm just gonna, especially you not being an actress, you know, you see a lot of actresses and people that have gone and done a lot of short form content and they're funny and they're parodies. And then you look at their bio and you're like, okay, you know, they live in LA, they do the improv. But I think, you know, for someone like you, that wasn't like you thought it was your path, you know, you weren't going to school to act or doing this improv. And now you have this career doing improv comedy. Like that
Yeah.
decision to do it and follow through on it was life changing for you.
Yeah.
It could
It
have been
really
an
was.
idea that you got through your mind and were like, that's dumb or whatever, right? The fact
Yeah.
that you did it and you put it out there changed it all.
That's very true. I've never looked at it in that light, but you're so right. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, that's a lot.
It's cool. It's cool. What is your number one tip for preserving your mental health as a content creator?
Okay. I would say just don't focus on the negativity. And I know it's so hard. It's like eating. You got to do it every single day. You got to practice it every single day. I do not respond to comments, negative comments. If it's too negative, I will block that individual. I try to take every negative comment like a grain of salt. I know in my recent video, I was getting a lot of backlash. A lot of people were saying they're unfollowing me because I got Kardashian PR makeup and stuff.
Oh my God. What do
Yeah,
people like? That is so weird.
yeah, they'll say, "Oh,
Like,
I never unfollowed someone so fast. I never clicked the unfollow button so fast." And
yeah,
that I could let that get to me, but if they don't like me for liking the Kardashians, then they don't like me for who I am. And that's totally fine. Like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That is okay. So I would just say don't focus on the negativity because it could be very discouraging and commenting back is probably the worst thing because in my opinion, like my following, they expect me to just continue to spread positivity. So if they see me, my biggest fear is like a die-hard fan, like sees me fighting and arguing with someone in the comment section and they
yeah,
get a
it's
bad
not a
taste in
good
their mouth.
look. It's
Yeah, they're
not a
like,
good
oh,
look.
right. So I
Mhm.
don't focus on the negative.
You have to be unbothered. You know, I always say like you're kind of you're the leader of your own community, and that just sets such a bad. It just shows you're like I'm unbothered. Like this is my world, my community. Like you know, your little fly buzz off, right? Whereas if you get
Yeah,
in there, you're giving them so much importance.
yeah, that
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest takeaway from that.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of hate because of the fact that you cover the Kardashians?
I do. I do.
Mm,
People say I'm a sellout, but like I said in the beginning, I've never denied that I like the Kardashians. So I don't know
hmm.
where they get that from, but yeah, some people say, "Oh, you do like the Kardashians? I'm gonna unfollow you. Like now your content is so cringy. You're obsessed with them. You want to be just like them. Like why do you like them so much?" It's a lot. So I do get a lot of hate, but I get so much more love
Oh,
and I
good.
just want to focus on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I like that. Have you ever just wanted to give up? What happened there and how did you get back on track?
Yes, I have wanted to give up only because I feel like the I want to say maybe like 3, 4 months ago, I just wanted to quit TikTok and I just wanted to
Mm,
quit making the Kardashian videos only because I just felt like it just wasn't sustainable. I
mm,
would ask myself, like, am I really going to make Kardashian parodies for the rest of my life? Like, is this really what it's going to be? Because when I would try to get out of the scope of Kardashians, people didn't want that. People don't want that. So that was tough, and I wanted to quit, but thankfully my boyfriend was very supportive, and he's like, look, you've been doing this. I mean, I've been a content creator since 2016. And so, you know, now that I've finally found success, am I really going to stop now? Like, no, it's just the beginning. And those words really kind of helped push me through that dark time.
Yeah, I could see how you feel like, what am I going to do with this? But I think it's smart, like you said, focusing on growth and just really getting yourself out there. And you just never know what kind of doors are going to open up. And in the meantime, I would experiment. If I were you, I would experiment with just trying different things. Something else might hit for you. You never know, right?
Yeah. And I like to sprinkle in some different content, you know, like just kind of throw it in there just to see how it does.
Yeah.
But it'll get there. I think once I can establish an entire personality,
Exactly.
is when people will follow me and support me, not just because of the Kardashians, but because of who I am. Yeah.
You have to build that up. You have to
Yes.
create that relationship with them. So,
yes, exactly.
Any video you're particularly excited about that just didn't do well?
Yes, I would say, and there's probably a lot more, but because this is recent, it's standing out. I want to say like maybe a month ago, I did one on The Bachelorette. I did a parody on The Bachelorette. Did not do good, was not received the way I thought. And it really discouraged me. And I haven't made another Bachelorette parody. But I think The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, they're so funny, super dramatic, so much good content.
Yeah.
But if it's not going to do well, it just doesn't give me the motive, like, or the drive to do it.
Yeah, I would wait until the next season comes up. I used to watch it. I haven't watched it recently, but you know, wait till the next season comes up and see if there's somebody you can do really well. I think that's the key with like parodies and stuff. It's like obviously you hit the nail on the head with the Kardashians. You're so good at that, but there's got to be other characters that you're just as good at. You just haven't found them yet. You know?
Right. That's what I think too. I think that exact same thought, and I don't know. Hopefully, I'll find them.
Yeah. What is your biggest opportunity you got as a result of being a content creator?
Biggest opportunity I would just say the brand deals. One specifically, probably my biggest accomplished brand deal was with MAC Cosmetics for 6 months.
Cool. MAC?
Yeah, MAC Cosmetics. And it was so much fun because I learned a lot about brand, like working with a brand. It was fairly new, but working with a brand so massive, working with other content creators, you know, experimenting with beauty and like beauty products, and they just like they embrace their content creators so much. I will always work with them, like if ever given the opportunity again. But I would say that was one of my biggest accomplishments, especially because it's beauty and that's where I started.
Yeah. So when you're doing these brand deals, are you doing beauty content or are you incorporating them into your Kardashian parodies?
I'm doing beauty content because a lot of the time, you can't really use Kim Kardashian in a sponsored video. I can't say the name. I can't show a photo of them. So it would be very hard to do it that way. The bigger the brand and the bigger the brand deal, the harder it is to do that.
Got it. What would you say has kept you going over the last, 5-6 years as a content creator?
I would say just the passion for it, and I don't have to try so hard in doing something that I don't want to do and being someone that I'm not, because I've established, even with beauty, like I stayed true to what I like. And when I started doing the parodies, I think that's probably when I became like my most authentic self, and I didn't care what people say. I don't care what people say, and probably that.
Yeah. what is your superpower that you think has led to your success?
My superpower has led to my success. I don't know. I think being able to manage social media. So just the audience, just making sure the content is content, not taking it so seriously, not diving too deep, like remembering what matters, which is my family, my son, the little things, I would say.
Yeah. And last question is, what is your number one piece of advice you would tell somebody who is just starting out creating content?
Be your most authentic self. I would say that's probably how you're going to hit success, and how it'll just flow naturally and come easily. You have to enjoy making content. You have to enjoy filming. You have to learn a lot of skills as well. A lot of times starting off as a content creator, you want to be able to monetize your content. And a lot of times people don't have that money. That's why they're starting off this way. So you have to learn on your own your own skill of what you're going to even film, how to use equipment, how to use a camera, how to use a microphone, how to set up lighting. And then after that is how to add graphics, how to edit a video, how to publish it, how to create a thumbnail. It's a huge creative process. So
there's so much.
So much.
Especially with YouTube, there's so many moving parts.
Especially if you want your content to be different, it's essential that you learn those things.
Yeah, it is. Well, Yuri, thank you so much. You were such a pleasure to chat with. I was excited to get you on the show. As like I said, I binge watched all your Kardashian ones, and they definitely made me laugh. So I think you have a great talent with that. So thank you so much. For our listeners and viewers that are not familiar with your channel, where can they find you on all the platforms? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so on TikTok, I'm Yuri Lamasbella. And on Instagram, I'm Yuri Lamasbella. YouTube, Yuri Lamasbella. Facebook, Yuri Lamasbella. You can pretty much find me on all of the major 4 platforms. Yeah, we have a lot of fun, especially on TikTok. I think I engage with my followers and my audience so much. I'd love to talk to my followers. I love to just learn new things. So definitely we'll have a fun time.
Very cool. Yeah, you said you go live every day?
Yeah, on TikTok. And it's so much fun because I just learn so much, and I'm creating a community. There's girls that are on there every single day. Now I know them by their first name. I know where they live. It's just I've made friends, and that's not why I started doing the TikTok live. So to be able to get that benefit, I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome chatting with you. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed that interview and you learned a lot from it. Now, if you have a YouTube channel or considering starting a YouTube channel that you're serious about growing and you want the best of the best when it comes to personalized feedback, advice, and up-to-the-minute YouTube strategy, then consider my Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp for Women. I have been running this bootcamp since 2018, and we have hundreds upon hundreds of very successful students that have gone through the program. And I can go on and on about the YouTube bootcamp, but I want you to hear it directly from some of the women themselves.
I feel so lucky that I got to do Erika's bootcamp.
Before I joined the bootcamp,
before joining Erika's bootcamp,
my channel was all over the place. I didn't know what I was talking about.
I would hear people say that I need to find my why and my voice and my audience and understand my target audience, but I never felt like I really understood what that meant.
Erika helped me come up with YouTube video ideas. She helped me with consistency. She helps me to interpret my analytics.
I started with 12,000 subscribers and now I have over 50,000 and it is growing rapidly.
My channel has grown almost 100,000 subscribers.
I definitely wouldn't have gotten to this place in such a short amount of time without Erika's bootcamp.
What makes Erika special is that she has been talking to and analyzing YouTube channels for years, and that has given her this bank of knowledge to pull from.
I'm constantly asking her questions about YouTube. I'm asking her advice about my YouTube channel.
Taking the Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp was one of the best
decision I could have ever made for myself, for my channel, for my own personal growth as a human being. I could not be happier.
I love that it has reinvigorated me in such a beautiful way. So I am so happy that I've joined.
You're crazy not to hire her. Get on it. All right.